Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Goes. My name's Andrew Deeka, and it's been a while since I've seen this man. I believe it's been since September. Josh Nutley. Josh, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm great. Great to have you on. And you got an incredible story, and we'll catch up after this fight and we'll break it down for the fans that don't know. But very quickly, as I haven't seen you since September, since your professional debut, you've had another outing. You did want to end last year 2-1, but you've ended it 1-1. How was it getting your first professional win? And what a night it was at York Hall against Stephen Jackson.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was nice. It was good. It was my first fight with my new coach, Gareth Lawrence. Well, he's not really my new coach now. I've been with him coming up a year. No, not a year. I've been with him. I've been with him since like last June. So it was my first. It was my first fight with him, and I felt like I've improved loads, and I developed a lot more. And I just listened to everything he says, and it worked on the night. I know it was a journeyman, but we got a step up now. We're having a real proper fight in 9 days, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. It's in the flyweight contest, which is the division I always had, wanted to be in. Like my favorite. I've told you beforehand. My favorite fighter has always been Sonny Edwards. You got Bam Rodriguez in there. The flyweight division is just always really stood out to me, and to be able to compete in that, and to be in the rankings of the flyweight after next Thursday is gonna be it's gonna be wicked for me.
And talk about it there. Sonny Edwards is retired now, and he was a big inspiration to you. But how does it feel that you have a potential to make your name the next big name in the flyweight division, not only in Britain but in the world?
Listen, mate. I'm 34 years old. I don't think I'm gonna get too much further. Do you know what I mean? I'm just having a go at it, mate. I'm just having a go at it. I'm not. I've probably got 2 years left in me. And I want to be quite active this year. I want to try. I know I'm not fighting, and my first fight this year is not till April. You know, but it is what it is. I want to try and get another three in this year after this one.
And talk about it last year. You did say to me when I interviewed you at the Indigo, you did want to end the year 2-1. You 50% of the way there. How come you didn't get a third bout? Was it just cards being full, or was it just you needed a little bit of rest? What was it?
Do you know what it was? It was like obviously I've got three kids and I've got a missus at home, and I'm very absent from my home life. I work full time still. I work in 6 days a week. And then I'm in the gym. I'm training twice a day. And then like the times that I am at home, I'm tired and want to relax and rest. So it's just I just wanted to catch up on some time with my family and enjoy my food, mate. Obviously, flyweight. It's a low weight, mate. So it's a strict diet, and this camp's been going on for about 10 weeks now. The fight with Harry Mullins got made in like January. We both agreed it in January. It was meant to be sooner than what it was. It was meant to be at York Hall, March 22nd, I believe, and then other things happened. If I remember rightly, it was because there was like 36 professional shows being shown in March, and that the Boxing Board of Control just didn't have the manpower in order to do it. So the fight got postponed and it got moved to April 17th. But it done me a favour, because in that fight, in when I was training for the March date, I had an injury to my back. I think it was a twinged muscle or a pulled muscle or a trapped nerve. It was something like it was nothing major, and then I landed with COVID, and then the fight got postponed, and all it done really was do me a favour because we carried on after I got recovered from COVID, and then like for the last 10 weeks, I've like touched wood. I've been injury free. I've been not haven't had been ill, And if I'm being completely honest with you, I've had the best training camp I've ever had. I feel the best I've ever felt. I'm the fittest I've ever been. I'm in the best shape of my life. I've had fantastic sparring. And I'm just I could fight tomorrow. The weight's there. I'm not like the weight's there. I'm ready to go now. And it's a hard fight. It's a really hard fight. And co-main event just in my first professional fight. I'm like Hey, on a big card as well. But I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing.
So the card is, and you've answered all my questions there, so you've literally skimmed through it. But the one thing I want to ask is something I wasn't aware of. How was it having COVID, especially 5 years on? And how long did you have it for? And how hard have the effects hit you?
Mate, do you know what? I don't know 100% if it was COVID because I never tested. But what I do know is I was floored for about 6 days and I was just rotten. I couldn't train. Like, I wasn't really eating that well. I was sleeping loads. I actually had 4 days off of work from it, and that's the only reason why I just believe it was COVID because I've never really been ill like that, and the after effects wasn't too bad, I got jumped. I jumped straight back on it, and like, mate, listen, I'm just grateful that the fight got postponed, and I'm in the position I'm in now. Like the sparring I've had's been unbelievable. I've been sparring national champions, like 2, 3 time national champions in the amateurs. And I think I've had the right sparring for it. I believe that national champions was the way for me to go because Harry's only young. He's only 22, and he was a national champion himself. And he's young, he's fit, and that's what I needed. I needed some youth. I needed to have the youth and the fitness in front of me. And I think it's paid off. And I believe that you're going to see the best version of me on April the 17th.
And the show is Warren Boxing Management Show. Made in Stone is what it's called, and it's in Made in Stone. Ken, talk about that third professional fight, co-main event, 8 rounds. Someone who's 7-1-1, fought for a Southern Area title. Would you call this a massive step up, or is this a type of fights you wanted to be in boxing for?
Mate, it's the type of fights I wanted to be in boxing for, but also in the same respects, it is a big step up. I'm 1-1. And you just said yourself, Harry's 7-1-1. I didn't really have to. I didn't have to take this fight right now. I could have had another journeyman or two and built myself up, but like I say, it's the fights that I wanted to be in. This is where I want to be. If whatever happens, happens. But what I wanted to turn pro and be able to say is that I boxed the best people that I could get my hands on. I don't want to say, oh yeah, I ended up like 5-1 beating journeyman. I wanted to be in there with the best that I could come across, and at the moment, Harry Mullins is that. He's a skillful southpaw. He's young, he's fit, he's got a good record. He's boxed for a Southern Area. He's actually done more rounds in one fight than I have my whole professional career. And but what the advantages that I can take from it is if I do get the win next Thursday, it puts me instead for a Southern Area. Not that I'll necessarily be going straight for that if I get the win, but the Southern Area is what I'm aiming for. That's my ambition. That's what I want to achieve as a professional boxer, Southern Area at flyweight. And if I can do that, I'll be like completely over the moon. But if I get the win next Thursday, it's another step closer to that.
And Harry Mullins has something in comparison to you. That's a great stat that he's been in more rounds in his whole career in one fight than you have in your whole career. He's also been in there with Steven Jackson. And like you said, he's been in there with Paul Roberts. He's been 10 rounds. He's been the distance. He's been at title fight level. He's done a lot in 3 years' time. Had all of his 9 fights within 3 years. One thing I want to ask you here, and it's for him to say as well, and if I get the opportunity, I will ask him. Do you believe in ring rust? And he's been out the ring for about 13, 14 months come to when he faces you next week, Thursday. Do you think ring rust plays a factor into it, or does it depend what you're doing in that timeout?
Mate, listen, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, you just got to look at Jordan Perkins, for example. He had 18 months out of the ring. He come back and he done that hybrid, and he boxed and he looked fucking brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it all depends on the person that you are. I think everyone adapts differently. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't like to have that long out of the ring, but that's my personal opinion. Um, I'm sure he had his reasons for it. I don't know Harry. I've never met him before. I don't know him on a personal level, and I'm not going to sit here and mouth him or anything because it's not for me to do, and I'm not that type of person. Do you know what I mean? I hope he's had a good training camp, and I hope that we put on a good fight, and may the best man win. Do you know what I mean? And whatever the result is Thursday, with us being the same weight category, maybe we can help each other out in the future with sparring and things like that afterwards. Do you know what I mean? You know that's. But come Thursday night, I know I'm in for a hard night. And I hope he's not overlooking my record and seeing that I'm 1-1, because I also know that he's going to be in for a hard night as well. It's going to be a good fight. I think both our styles are going to really gel. You know, he's a back foot fighter, boxers on the outside of the ring, counter puncher, and I'm a come forward fighter. You know, so it's just going to be a good fight, mate. It's going to be a good fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
And one thing I want to say that, what do you make of your opponent, Harry Mullins? And first and foremost, utmost respect. Hopefully you two can help each other in sparring and help yourself to the top level, because that's what the sport is at the end of the day. And that's true gentlemanship and sportsmanship from you, and hopefully from foes to friends. And talk about it there, 7-1-1. And I was at his last fight last year. I truly believe if you take away one loss and one draw, you could easily be 9-0 undefeated with a Southern Area title. He had a close fight against Paul Roberts, and he had a great fight against Nabil Ahmed, which changed last minute from a 6-rounder to a 4-rounder. Did you manage to see any of his fights, and what do you make of Harry Mullins?
I've watched them on YouTube just to have a little nose and just to see what I'm up against. And listen, I think he's a better boxer than what I am, you know, and I can be honest about that. I think he's a better boxer than what I am, but I'm very durable, you know, and I'm strong, and I'm fit, and I'm tough, and I don't know how the fight's gonna go, you know, but I just know that we're both in for a hard night, you know, because I'm not coming there to lose, you know, I'm coming there to win, you know, and but also saying that, the pressure's not on me, the pressure's on Harry.
Yeah.
You know, if he loses against me, where does he go from there? You know, I'm 1-1. I haven't got much amateur background. I'm come from the unlicensed circuit, you know, and I've taken a step up. You know, if I lose against Harry, I can just start again. You know, but where does he really go from here if he loses against me? You know, that's the question. So really, I don't think the pressure's on. On paper, he should win. You know, he's 7-1-1. I'm 1-1. You know, really, I'm like, I should lose. Really, if you look at the statistics that way, it's all in his favour. You know, so there's no pressure on me, which has probably done me a favour in this camp.
And I want to ask you something there. Do you see this fight as a high risk, high reward, or at the end of the day, even if you come off a loss, that it still puts your name out there, that you've been able to take this fight, put your name with someone who's fought at Southern Area level, and it gives you plenty more opportunities?
How many people on their third professional fight have an opponent like what I'm taking? You know, so listen, if I lose, I hope I don't lose, but if I do, I'm looking to be back out in June or July. You know, I'm going to have a week off. Whatever the result is, win or lose or draw, whatever the result is, I'm going to have a week off. Then I'm going to be back in the gym, and I want 4 fights this year minimum. You know, so the plan is to be active this year and next year, and we'll see where I'm at next year. Whether I carry on or not, I don't know. I'll be 36 by then, so time will tell. But at the moment, I'm just grateful to be where I am. You know.
I love to hear that, Josh. Last few questions just before I let you go. I want to ask you this. As you said, no disrespect, and it's sportsmanship. I want to ask you in this sense, instead of saying what Harry does better than you, what you do better than Harry, what attributes does Harry bring into this ring? Obviously, it's an 8-round contest. First and foremost, first question is, do you see this fight going 8 rounds?
It's not 8 rounds, it's 6.
Oh, it's gone down to 6.
Yeah, it's 6. Well, no, BoxRec was just wrong. It was just wrong. It's 6. BoxRec says it's at bantamweight and it's at 8 rounds. It's not. It's 6 rounds and it's at flyweight. So,
do you see it going 6 rounds?
Do you know what? I couldn't tell you. I can't say, mate. I can't say. I don't know. All I know is that when that first bell goes, I'm gonna be giving it everything I've got. You know, I know that I'm fit enough to apply constant pressure for 6 rounds. You know, and it's I don't know. I don't know what his punch power is like. I know that he's skillful and I know he's a good mover, you know, and it's just going to be interesting, mate. I mean, until I get a couple of rounds in, I can't sit there and give a prediction. I've never watched him fight in person. I've just watched a few of his videos on YouTube, and it's hard to go by that because the truth of it is, Paul Roberts is the only person that he's boxed that isn't a journeyman. Do you know what I mean? So you can only really go by the Paul Roberts fight.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just my personal opinion. I can't really pay much attention to the other fights, but the Paul Roberts fight's the one I need to be concentrating on if I'm gonna learn anything about Harry.
And you see that type of fight when two men, a 50-50 fight, two men are coming to scrap. Do you see there being an opening for a stoppage?
Mate, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. I'm just gonna go there and do. I'm just gonna do what I've been doing in the gym, in sparring, and in training camp. You know, and if it works, then fantastic. And if it doesn't, then it's back to the drawing board.
And what strengths do you bring to this fight?
I'm very durable. I'm very durable, and I'm like an annoying wasp. I'm not gonna leave him alone, man. From the minute that bell goes, I'm gonna be on him, and I'm not gonna leave him alone.
And just before I let you go, first fight, correct me if I'm wrong, was a pink kit. The next one was a red and black kit. What is the fight kit going to be for this one? Because you love your kits and there's something special.
This one's red and black. I've only worn I wore the pink one for my last two fights.
Oh, okay.
This one's red. The red and black is for this one.
That's how long it's been, because I remember you sending me a photo, and that's how long it's actually been. So, okay.
Yeah. I only picked it up 2 weeks ago. You know, so it's it's a pucker, mate. I've got all tassels on it, and it's lovely, mate. I've got my daughter's name on the waistband again. You know, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, mate.
And I just want to ask you this. Does it put pressure on you being co-main event, or does it let you thrive under pressure and show that you're on Box Nation, you're across the world, and everyone on YouTube tuning in is going to tune in for a scrap and watch what I would call the people's main event?
No, there's no. I don't have no pressure, mate, because I don't really think about any of that. You know, I'm there to do a job, and my focus is on the job.
Penultimate question, just so I let you go. What's your one motivational message to the world and to the fans to block out the outside noise, block out the haters, block out the negativity, and follow and pursue their dreams?
Just don't give up, man. Just keep going. Consistency is key.
And what's your final message for your fans, for everyone that's tuning in, everyone that has bought tickets to come out to support you? And what's your final message to Harry Mullins? And what's your final message for Fight Night?
My final message is thank you to everyone who bought tickets. Thank you to everyone for the continued support. It really means the world. Message to Harry Mullins, good luck. I wish you all the best. You know, and that's about it, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest men in boxing right now, a true gentleman. Tune in on April 17th, live on Box Nation, Maidstone, WBM, Maidstone in Kent. If you haven't got your tickets, make sure to purchase them. It's going to be a great fight, and all the best, and hopefully the winner of this one moves on to Southern area, if not bigger and better things.
Nice one. Thank you, mate.